Hello everybody, and boy do I need a break from making Eagles videos here, and I've been getting behind on making these videos about my summer vacation trip with the wifey to Europe. So, today I'm going to be showing you the pictures from my trip to Estonia and Finland. We're going to be doing a two-in-one here since I didn't take too many pictures in both locations, and there's really a lot less that we did comparatively in these two places compared to Germany, compared to Russia, compared to Denmark, etc. And what you're looking at on the screen, by the way, is some of the sweets, as they call it, across the pond that I bought in the name of the airport in London that I'm totally forgetting the name of. Heathrow. Yes, Heathrow. Uh, didn't spend much time in London. Didn't take many pictures there, but I made sure to stock up on my favorite. What bar are they candies that I saw on OSW review? So, anyways, I'm gonna be making one more video detailing two locations left that I went to, which are Iceland and Sweden. And then I'm going to make a video wrapping up everything, just talking to you guys one-on-one with some questions you guys had given me in the comments of these videos, as well as just some other bullet points that I thought I had forgot to mention along the way here. So, without any further ado, let's do it to it. First up, Estonia. And here we have the shoreline to Tallinn. I don't know, I heard it called both ways. Tallinn, Tallinn, Estonia. Don't accidentally wash up onto this in the shoreline in the fog, because you'll fuck your ship up. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful little city. We went and spent most of the day in Old City Tallinn. Um, I gotta tell you, Tallinn, you don't believe in paved roads now, do you? No, I'm just kidding. Just the old city had a lot of the cobblestones. If that was like one gripe, is like that was kind of like awkward to walk on for the entire afternoon. But I digress. It gave it that old world feel, and that was what was unique about this part of our visit, is that this was something that just had the feeling that everything was like genuinely old. Like this is one of the few parts of Europe that wasn't completely leveled to the ground and rebuilt after World War II. And by the way, there's a Texas honky tonk cantina in Estonia. Why wouldn't there be? But anyways, this had such an old world gothic feel to it. Like a lot of the places where you went in to eat had just like that old, again, not to repeat myself, gothic feel. This church here was one of the old Russian Orthodox churches. It at one time was one of the tallest, actually was the tallest building in all of Europe. So it just goes to show you that modern innovation at the time and what was done in a country like Estonia, which before this trip I couldn't even really find exactly on a map. By the way, the inside of this church, you're not allowed to take pictures. There was a big Russian guy that came up to me the second I pulled out my camera to take some pictures and videos. He was like, "No picture, no photo." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I didn't want to die. Like that stopped me. Here's a picture from inside that church once that big Russian dude walked away. Anyways, you could see how extravagant it was, and just that's the feeling. Anytime like the Russians were involved on building something like a church, it always had such a high level of extravagance. And we're going to get to later on this trip, um, or on this video, I should say, picture of a church inside Finland where it's like, oh wow, this like pales in comparison to all the other churches I've seen on this trip so far. Anyways, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city, specifically the old city Tallinn. If you're booking a trip to Europe and that's one of the places you can go to see, it's a nice little just break from the hustle and bustle of the major cities of Europe. It was just a nice in between stop on our little summer vacation here, and I love the hell out of it because I, as the ignorant American, if you will, didn't know anything about Tallinn, Estonia. Like I said, I couldn't even exactly point to. By the way, that wall is made out of uprated gravestones, which was kind of creepy, but pretty cool at the same time. I didn't know anything about Estonia. Couldn't tell you a person I knew on the planet that was from Estonia. What Estonia is known for? Do they make one specific good or service for anyone specifically in the world? I don't know. But one of the things that I found out they do specifically that they specialize in, which we'll get to in a second here, and again, cobblestone roads everywhere, but it gives it again that old world feel that like you're like stuck in the 18th century or prior, and it was just a nice breakup from the norm. Marzipan and little marzipan figurines. Fizzleluck, I forget the name of the place that did this. Anyways, it's a famous little candy shop in the middle of Tallinn. Bought some candy there, and there was like a little bakery next to it as well. Excellent eats there, and just one of the cool things that Estonia is known for. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for Tallinn, Estonia. So let's switch right on over to Finland. All right, welcome to Helsinki, Finland, home to the 19 something something Olympics. And that statue is a guy, an Olympian that I forget the name of, but he was a really good runner. And I'm okay. I don't follow foreign sports, anyways. Helsinki. Oh my God, the weather! The weather was so beautiful, as you can see. The weather for Estonia was not so much as nice, but I think it added. If there was one day I was gonna have bad weather, okay, have bad weather would be for Estonia because again with that old gothic feel to it, it felt more genuine to have crappy drizzly weather. It wasn't pouring rain or with gas, like there's even a choice. I don't know. Anytime I saw that, I was like, like the water makes you fart. That's all I could think of. The water makes you fart. I get it. It's carbonated. This is the Rock Church. Very, very unique little structure. And again, you look inside of it, it doesn't have the extravagance that the Russian churches have or the Estonian churches have. It just looks like a friggin' church, except this one is built underground. The top of it is above the ground, like where the light's coming through, but it's surrounded by rock. And there's actually a World War II bomb bunker underneath of this. So after the war, they turned it into a church. Or actually, I think the church was still. I don't know. I don't know my history too much. I don't pay attention. This is the outside of the rock church, as you can see. It is what it is. It's actually built in rock. But again, the churches that we saw outside of Estonia and Russia, they didn't look like they were dipped in gold or, part of Goldfinger's personal collection of churches. They were just, kind of just looked like churches. They were fancy, they were unique, but they just looked more like churches than large collections of valuables. This is the Church of Silence. It is just that, a silent church. There's no words spoken in it. You can pray, you can do whatever you want, and for someone who doesn't even believe in God, I sure saw a lot of goddamn churches on this trip. Oh, I just blast. I'm not even going to try to say blasphemer, but there, I said it. Anyway, this was one of the most unique churches on the trip, and I know I keep saying unique in churches on this trip. Number one, just like how the ceiling, how the inside looked, but next you're going to see a picture of this from the outside, and you'll see why I thought it was so unique. Yeah. It's just a church that looks like a big wrapped bamboo structure, whatever you want to say, like bended plywood, but it's in the center of downtown Helsinki, and like just to the right of this picture, technicians and whatnot were setting up a stage for like a concert, like just in the town square. So it's like a church of silence in the middle. I guess like that's the symbolism of it. A church of just complete unspoken silence in the middle of the hustle and bustle of Helsinki. Like it was in like dead center downtown. That church that you saw on the horizon. This is the inside of it. Again, it just looks like a church. It looks, like there was an amount of time and effort put into crafting it, but compared to like the Russian and Estonian churches I showed you, like you're not blinded by like the shimmer of the gold, like piercing your retinas. But again, it still looks like a church. It looks unique, neat. Anyway, I know I just took that away because like we went to Helsinki after we went to St. Petersburg and Tallinn, And like you see these churches, it's like, oh wow, it's like a complete step down in extravagance, but still has its charm nonetheless. This is the downtown square outside the church, looking down at the center square in Helsinki. They were also setting up a concert in this area as well. There must have been some sort of big festivity. Okay, a little story about this church. No pictures were allowed to be taken inside, and I didn't take any pictures inside this church. But there was a beggar that sat outside, or actually, she was like laying on the ground outside the front door of the church. And when my wife and I walked up on the church, you would hear her start going, please, 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 and then you get inside and it stops. Someone else would walk near, you'd hear, please, 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 and like she's holding out her hand for just any money you spare. But it was weird because it was like a way of knowing someone else was coming in the church. You just heard this random woman go, very old woman going, please, please. And I'm not trying to poke fun of her for being homeless or whatever. And this is the shot of the church from above. We went on the Helsinki Ferris wheel, which I don't know why they put blue windows in this because it makes the pictures you take look like crap. And got a little cloudy in the second half of the day, but still the weather was just fine the entire day that we were there. Um, One thing I also wanted, the reason why I brought up that the please, please lady is that we would notice homeless people with like signs or that would be begging in the streets. They all do it in English. Like their signs would be like, please give me money. I need your support to live. Like, stuff like that. But it would all be written in English. And I found it so unique. Like, I don't recall seeing any of the beggars in the towns that we went to written. There's you can see the Ferris wheel in the background, written down in the native language. And there's four seals barfing on a naked lady. Um, so yeah, that was just very unique in that like in America you don't like see like a bum in a Chinatown district of a city begging in Chinese or something. And by the time we got back to the ship, this is what the weather looked like again. So like there was brief cloud cover in the middle of the day, but oh my god, it was so beautiful. Nice little trip. Again, didn't spend too much time there. That's why I combined Estonia and Finland into one video here. And this was a shot when we were sailing off. We noticed another ship going off into the sunset, sailing off into the edge of the world. Anyway, people, that's my wrap up from Estonia and Finland. Loved both cities, even though we were there for brief amounts of time. Um, some of the shortened amount of times in each of these countries had to do with the fact that we had to be on the ship at a certain time to get to the next country on time. So that kind of like hinders the amount of time. Like boarding back on the ship, last call would be earlier. Like when we were in Finland, boarding was by 6 o'clock. Whereas like boarding when we were in Russia was 8 or 9 o'clock each night, so you had much more time to stay in St. Petersburg compared to Helsinki. So that's just one of the minor flaws about doing this on a cruise ship is like you have like a set time where you have to be finished for the day. So, but I mean, you have a set time pretty much on any trip you plan. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back again a little later on. Probably sometime this weekend or next week. I'll wrap things up and give you the final pictures that I had on the end of our trip, which was Sweden and Iceland. Until then, adieu, which is French, I guess, and I didn't even go to France, so that was stupid. Bye.